pause this song, turn it down really cinematically, and that wasn't really that smooth. But welcome everyone to my first podcast, the Cubhouse podcast. I don't know, the name's okay, the name works, the name's fine. So my name is, well, people know me as Ziote, but my real name is Nick, so you can call me either one of that moving forward. So basically this podcast is basically the pilot podcast. Maybe I should stop saying basically so much. That would help, yeah. I got to detach myself from using repeating words. But anyway, let's continue. So this is my second attempt at a podcast, as many of you will know if you've stuck around my Twitch channel for enough. I first started with the Foundry podcast. Now we're moving on to I don't want it to be a solo podcast. So I want this to be another interview podcast where people hop on and can have a chat to me. We can have a chat about their life, have a chat about my life, of course. Basically, I'm interested in becoming an interviewer. I reckon that'd be just an all-round, great interviewer. I got to work on my language skills, got to work on my flow. But if you keep talking, entertainment can come from anywhere. So I suppose what I want to do with this podcast is just have a chat about life, have a chat about what's getting on your nerve. And for the first episode, I'm not going to have a video or anything. We're just going to focus on the audio. I think eventually, my ultimate goal is to provide entertainment for people driving. That's where most of my podcasts, when I listen to a podcast, that's where most of the time I play it. I'm trying to get the audio out, trying to get the words out. But yeah, when I'm in the car, I like to listen to all types of podcasts, horror podcasts, true crime podcasts, and just, hanging out podcasts like this one's going to be. I think in the future I want to do story-driven ones. I'm always interested in the horror podcasts, but that's something we've got to work on. We're going to become more familiar with my voice. I've got to become more confident on just using my voice to use entertainment, I suppose. But yeah, this should be only a short podcast. We're just going to introduce the premises and see how it goes. See if anyone's interested on coming on. My DMs are always open. I'll put my Twitter in the description somewhere, but it's always easy to find my Twitter at TwitchZiote. That's how you spell it on the screen, with an X instead of a C. It's not Coyote. But yeah, that's basically how you say my name as well. I don't know if I've talked much about my name, but we'll get into it. Hey, we'll just have a quick chat and just a quick chill. And if anyone's listening to this in their car, major props. You are making me succeed in my dream. That is literally my goal. If you're listening now on your computer, you log off and you hop in your car and listen. That is awesome, dude. Also at gym, I love listening to podcasts at gym. I love podcasts altogether. Podcasts are awesome. Okay, enough of the cringe. So where were we going with this? We were talking about podcasts. I've lost my train of thought. Obviously, I don't have a script. Maybe for the second episode, I should have a light script. Let's just first talk about me. That's what we're talking about, my name. So every time I go into someone's stream, basically, they interpret my name something different every time. It's quite a fun thing to do. I get Exoidy, Ziote, name a few. Some people get smash it right straight out of the park. You know who you are. You know who you are, dude. Right, yeah. So by night, my name is Ziote. I'm a content creator on Twitch. I stream. I would consider myself an entertainment streamer. I think we need to branch out of being just predominantly gamers. I know the entertainers probably don't belong on Twitch, and that's why I'm branching out with this stuff. Hopefully, because I've got no skill at games. As you probably know, I have zero gaming skill, or very little. But I do try, and I do try to amp the entertainment up, as you know. But I try to keep it as real as possible. So basically, I just use comedy to get, hopefully, escape some views, because my gaming skills are notoriously low. But we have a small community, and if this is your first time listening, if you've stumbled upon this podcast, check us out. I have just created a new sort of gaming network. I don't know what you call it, a group of people called the. Oh, what happened to the audio? Okay, the audio's back. Sorry about that. So basically, I was saying we have a NFGG group. So no Fux Given Gaming. Sorry about my French. That's what we branded ourselves with. You can also follow us on Twitter. So it's a bunch of like-minded content creators, just having fun and giving zero Fs, dude. Giving zero. Do we want to swear on this podcast? I think we do. No Fucks Given Gaming, dude. So that's basically a short rundown of what I am. So just a Twitch, I do this as a hobby, and then we work with other guys. So we got Spasmo 5 or 4. I still don't know what to call him. He's got a different Twitter and Twitch name. I don't think you get his numbers right. We got Radiation. We got Maxwell Paxwell. We've got Yazzie TV, and we've also got Smixy. I still don't. Smixy Raptor. I hope I'm saying that name right. I assume it's right. I'll give it a good go. So that's basically like the founding group. We're eventually going to expand, but I suppose we'll talk more about that on we have NFGG nights. So if you want to come have along, have a chat. Usually I don't stream on them nights. Well, I haven't the past few weeks, but Spasmo does and Craig does. Craig is IV Radiation. Dropping names, doxing people. Sorry, Craig, if you're listening. I don't know on this podcast if we want to get first names or screen names. I would prefer on this podcast. You can call me anything. I don't care. But I'm going to call myself Nick. I'm going to stop calling myself Coyote. I know it's everywhere. It's branded. That's my brand, of course. But you can call me Nick. Let's get on a personal level on this podcast. And I've also had ideas of making this podcast, releasing it to my subscribers early. Again, I don't ever want to block content. I know subscribers need an incentive to be continued subscribers, but that might be an idea for the future. Maybe we do a week release, but if I'm going to be like a week before everyone else, the subscribers can have a preview. But then again, I'm trying to be a topical podcaster, so today we can speak about Juice WRLD's death, and in a week's time, maybe it's still going to be topical, but it's not going to be as sort of as hard hitting, or the news might be already out there that he's died, and a week later everyone knows. And when I release it to the normal viewers, when I've previewed it to the subscribers of my Twitch channel, whether they be as impactful or as really relevant, I don't know. Like Juice WRLD probably be relevant. Death is a pretty big thing. RIP to him. He was a big influence me when he first came out. I loved his debut EPs. He's a banger, but yeah, it's sad to see him go. It's another one dead. That another artist that I really like that's dead. That's pretty sad. So yeah. Anyway, I segued a bit, but the main bit is I think I'm going to leave this open, release it publicly to everyone. I think that's only fair. I'm not in it to gain subscribers or anything, so I was thinking that in my head whether it'd be a good idea, and I don't think it would be a good idea. Let me know in the comments what you think. What you think about that idea. Maybe the subscribers love it. Maybe the people who actively subscribe want some more like exclusive content. And whether we just do bonus episode. Oh, dude, we're coming up with stuff on the spot. A bonus episode would probably be a good idea. Let's do that. Okay. Once every month we'll have a bonus episode. It'll go for longer. I don't know what it'll cover. Maybe just thank you for supporting me. As with everything, whatever you're listening to us on, hit us up with a follow. Hit NFGG up with a follow. That's the last plug I'll do. Just trying to get it out there, get people involved. Comment, like, subscribe, share, do whatever you do. Go subscribe. If you don't like this podcast, go subscribe to another podcast and say I sent you. Just randomly. Doesn't matter. You know what I mean. That made no sense. Share the love. If you don't love me, love someone else. That's all I'm trying to say. Oh, God. How have we segued? I really need a script, but yeah. And then if I need a script, maybe I'll be too structured. Maybe people love unstructured Nick. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. And basically, yeah, basically again. Dude, can we get a basic counter on this? Basically, every time I say basically, you're gonna have to count and stop me doing it. I'm just gonna turn the aircon on. I'm very professional midway through. So let's talk about the hot topics of this week. Juice WRLD. How did he die? Questions are mounting up. Do we really care? I don't think we should ever really care about how people die. He did have a lot of drugs on him when he did die in his possession. But dude, he's just dead. Give us some time, dude. Give us some time. There's all these news articles. At least yesterday they didn't jump straight on it. We're looking at today, we've got the Rolling Stones saying questions mounting Juice WRLD's unexpected death. If you're watching the stream last night, IV radiation stream, me and Spasmo, or grammatically speaking I should have said Spasmo and I were talking about the circumstances of his death. But really at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. The media's just after some headlines, I suppose. And rest in peace to the good man. So we've lost Triple X, we've lost Little Peep. We need to protect these people. Protect these young artists, dude. Teach them. Drugs are bad. Guns are bad. And gangs are bad, dude. We got to change society to change the world. And I ain't going to change this on the podcast, I know. Joe Rogan ain't going to change it on his podcast, the biggest podcaster. But we need to understand that the way we have the world now is probably not ideal, dude. These people have limited avenues. They think drug use is cool. They think guns are cool. And you're right, if you love drugs, that's your opinion, dude. You just got to know the risks. You got to know what you're taking. You got to know addiction. And they do. You do know that. It's just, I don't know, popularised. I don't know where I'm going with that. You can make your own interpretations. I want to have your own opinions on the war on drugs and stuff like that. Me personally, I think we should abolish the war on drugs. People need to be educated on what they're taking, and if they want to take bad substances, then give them the information and the freedom to do so. But, then if they start taking them and obviously lose their head and start harming other people, then that's on them. They've got to pay with the consequences, either jail or stuff like that. Yeah, but the war on drugs, I mean, there was an article the other day, and I've touched on this, but my local paper, they had this guy have a home invasion in his house, and they didn't catch the burglar. They basically checked his whole house, stripped it, and opened all the drawers, found some marijuana, and the guy almost went to jail. He got a massive fine. The victim, dude, I think that's pretty messed up, to be honest. And, what your views on marijuana is, it's going to be different, but I don't know. They need to have regulation of the business, like pharmaceuticals. They need to have regulation, but they shouldn't have criminalisation. It doesn't make any sense. It's a very backwards society. I think we've got to have a good look at it. Same with pill testing. If anyone's kept up with the New South Wales government's sort of against pill testing, people are going to do it whether you get 1 million police officers looking at them or not. People are dying. You got to do something. All the evidence is pointing to, if you test a pill and it's bad, at least you're saving one person. At least that one person is not taking something that can kill them. And yes, I know if they take more of a clean substance, if they overdose, it's not going to stop an overdose. Say you take, I don't know, something ridiculous like 4 kg of ecstasy, you're still gonna die, dude. Whatever the pill testing says, I understand that argument. What I don't understand is, why we don't have it to save that one person that has the dodgy batch, or the you know, the two people, I don't know the studies. I'll probably have to read the studies first. That's just voicing my opinion. That all started from Juice WRLD's death. So yeah, I'm trying to keep it as less political as I want. That's just my opinion. Obviously, I respect everyone else's opinion. I do think we need a balance between criminalisation and regulation of the industry. Because if you do too tight criminalisation, if it's just straight criminalisation, there's nothing in place to test stumps that get through. Like if it was regulated, obviously there'd be less deaths. I think that's what we need to vouch for. I think that's what we need to step towards, having less deaths. I don't know how it's going to be doing it. I'm not in a position to even suggest we do it, but that's just my opinion. I'm open to have a chat about anyone about that. I think that'd be an interesting thing to ask the guests if they want. Obviously, I'm going to ban if they, it's a sensitive topic. I'm going to become a better person and a better interviewer. Yeah, but we'll just go with it. Something else in the news, which is a bit more lighthearted, is the NH3. What was it? The NH3 part. I'll get my tweet out. Just wait. So H3 or Ethan. I'll just get my tweet out. Excuse my little. I should have an ad break now, but we don't have any ads to run. What was it? Oh, H3 is over party. So basically, Ethan Klein, or H3, did a reaction about K-pop, and the K-pop community lost it, as to be expected. I mean, they have every right to lose. Like, have an opinion about what he said. What he said wasn't that well thought out. It was a little vulgar. I think he went along the lines of, what did he say? Yeah, it's hard to see what he actually said because there's just K-pop fans everywhere just getting up him. I think it's about, I'm trying to read. I had it in my head before. Check it out. Check what he said. There's a video online. Basically, he said that it was just little boys and little girls, I don't know, fucking or something weird. Something honestly weird like that to K-pop, these K-pop artists. Trying to get, it's probably not that. I don't know, it was a real edgy joke. Let's see if we can find it. Let's probably just play the little bit that he said. I think I can play that. That's right. So you can probably hear the audio.
BTS. I don't get the BTS thing. I'm just gonna say it right now. I don't like K-pop. I hate K-pop. I don't get BTS.
K-pop.
They look like they're just a bunch of. How did this become a thing in Western culture where all these grown men and little girls are jerking off to little K-pop boys? It's like a little fetish. It's like a little
jerking off
fetish about these K-pop boys.
Does Ian have an insight on K-pop?
Ian, do you like K-pop? What do you think about BTS?
I mean, I don't like it, but it's just pop. I don't know. It's
just pop music.
But you like
F
pop.
tier, easy. I don't know.
Now, people were saying his remarks were racist. That's up to, racism is up to debate. It's a tough topic, and Ethan didn't handle it that great. Ethan never handles anything that great, and everyone should know that. He's just baiting. He loves to bait. But Twitter just blew up yesterday, just out of the blue. He went trending. He was happy. I think what Ian said was probably a little better, well spoken, more, I don't know, positively, a little less brutal. But just because but I suppose coming from someone who doesn't like K-pop either, don't attack me, K-pop fans. I understand why people like it. It is addictive music, but what Ethan said, it's clearly a joke. He's clearly having some fun at your expense. Whether you like that comedy or not is up to debate, and you have all the entitlements to get angry. You can do what you like, but then you have to get criticised. That's all I'm saying. I mean, some people agree with Ethan. What he said wasn't. I don't find it. to be intentionally racist. That's probably what I'm most angry about. Well, not really angry about, just disagree with the K-pop fans. Just because you don't like something doesn't mean you're racist, especially if it's like K-pop. It's basically coming out of one hub, Asia, Korea. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. If you make a joke about it, good. But I think if you don't agree with someone's opinion, you can't call them racist. Like if he went in there and said something obviously blatantly racist, and each people will obviously... we need an obvious count as well. We need to stop. I need to stop saying obvious. This needs to stop. Yes. So the H3 party is over. The actual trending is over. It's not on trending, so that's great. I think it just got blown out of proportion. Ethan has shat on stuff that I liked before, and do I hate him? No. Do these K-pop fans hate him? No. They probably just hate what he said. And that's fine, but there's obviously people that are just going above and overboard on Twitter. Just being completely inappropriate, but, you know, you're up to your own opinion. I believe Ethan is fine here. It's just comedy. It's obviously just comedy, but he's done a bit risky here giving his opinion. An opinion comedy, you know, a bit risky. I'm just going to have a quick mute here. I'll put some tunes on. I just got to clean my throat. I've got a cold. So obviously when the tunes are on, it's all good. I'll just turn them on and I'll blow my nose and we'll be back. Oh, you're so glad you didn't listen to that. Anyway, I don't really want the episode to go for too long. I'm just rambling now. We've had a chat about the topical things on Twitter and Twitch. Basically on YouTube. We haven't talked about anything on Twitter. Twitch, sorry. Words, Twitch. I meant Twitch. But if anyone wants to be on this podcast, hit me up. Hopefully this becomes a little less rough. I know this podcast's probably a little rough. I know it's a lot about my opinions, so if you have anything against it, obviously voice it. I'm happy to discuss. I'm also happy to let you voice your frustrations. You know, if you don't like me, that's cool. I'm kidding, dude. This whole argument is you shouldn't hate people for what their opinion is. You can still like a conservative if you're a liberal. You can still love a liberal if you're a conservative. You know? Not keeping anything that's politics based. If you like metal, you don't have to hate people that like K-pop. You don't have to crap on people, you know? That's all I'm saying. And if you like metal and you don't like K-pop, you're not a racist, okay? Only if you say racist things. Anyway, let's keep it short and sweet. We didn't even make the 25-minute mark. I wasn't expecting to make the 25-minute mark. Hopefully I can work on my skills of talking and we can get some people on the podcast. If you guys would like a video with this podcast, so if you want my face on it, let me know. I suppose this is just a pilot. See how it goes. I'll premiere this on Twitch and YouTube, so follow either or. And yeah, and then if you would prefer it just on YouTube, if you prefer it on both, if you prefer it on Twitch, make your mind up and tell me everything. Tell me about your life, and I'm going to go live after this Twitch, so if you're listening to this and you see me going live, check me out. Also, check IV Radiation out. IV Radiation VI, that's his technical name. Spasmo, I'll get this right. What number is he? What number is my boy? It's Spasmo 5. That's on Twitch. Spasmo 4 on Twitter. Smixy Raptor. Yazzie TV. They're the NFGG boys and girls. And yeah, I hope you have a great day. I hope we can react to more. I hope this podcast can become longer and become something, because I've always wanted to be in the podcast game. I'm sorry it's a bit rough. It's my first time doing a solo one. Hopefully it'll get better, and hopefully I can unlist this pilot episode and you'll never have to listen to it again. I hope you have a great day, a great night whenever you're listening to this, and just chill out, dude.